Alice, are you there? I need to talk to you about your father's funeral next month. Will you be there?
Hey, Gertrude. Yeah, of course I will. A bunch of our relatives will be there too, right? I haven't even met some of the people on my dad's side. Seems like it's gonna get busy. He sure was, love. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. You know, organization, planning, invites, that kind of thing.
Anything you can help me with? Sorry, Alice, but I don't think there's anything someone in your predicament could help me with. Don't worry about me. I'm happy for you to just sit around and do nothing. You're hardly the most mobile person in the world with that unfortunate leg of yours, are you, dear?
No, it's not that bad, really. I know it might look like I struggle a lot, but other than running, I can still do pretty much anything.
Oh dear, what a shame. It seems as though trying to soften the blow by giving you a gentle hint wasn't a good idea, so I'll just say it. I don't need our relatives thinking I'm so incapable I need to enlist the help of a cripple, thank you very much. If you do insist on coming, make sure you sit quietly and don't get in my way.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gertrude. I understand.
The fact that my son married a cripple in the first place is embarrassing enough. Without me being seen to be reliant on you to carry out basic tasks. What in heavens was he thinking? Telling people you exist is uncomfortable enough. I hardly feel like parading you around in front of everyone. I hope you don't think I've acknowledged you as my daughter, because most certainly I haven't. My Sam was adamant he only had eyes for you, and that your disability made no difference to him. That boy's so damn stubborn I knew resilience was futile, which is why I begrudgingly accepted it.
Right, I see.
I was looking forward to having a cute daughter-in-law to take out to cafes and on shopping trips with me. I had such high hopes. What an astronomical disappointment you turned out to be. I would have never believed in a million years he'd choose to spend the rest of his life with damaged goods like you. He must be atoning for some seriously evil deeds in a past life. That's the only explanation that makes sense to me.
Gertrude, please, why do you have to speak to me like this? Sam's the kindest man I've ever met. Besides, it's not like we fell for each other because of our looks in the first place. I fell in love with your son because of who he is deep down, just like he did with me. Just because one of my legs doesn't work makes no difference to him.
I don't need you to tell me how kind Sam is. I'm his mother, for heaven's sake. Let's face it, he'd have to be a saint to choose a useless good-for-nothing like you.
Gertrude, I love your son, and I'll do whatever it takes to win your approval. I want you to know that I'd do anything for him, and to rest assured that he's in good hands with me.
What good could a malformed cripple who's so totally reliant on others she can barely tie her own shoelaces possibly do for my son? I do wish you wouldn't talk such nonsense, dear. I can't claim to have any idea what you're like getting around the house, but I've seen you many a time using crutches and a wheelchair outside.
Right. So, what?
So you have the mobility of a 97-year-old, and you have the gall to claim I should rest assured that my son can rely on you? What would you do if he couldn't work for some reason? What would you do if he lost his job?
I'd help out with the family finances for as long as he needed me to. Of course I would. I freelance from home, so my lack of mobility doesn't mean I don't bring in any money. And even while I may technically be disabled, beyond the occasional, very minor inconvenience, it doesn't cause me any problems in day-to-day life.
It's precisely because I find that so hard to believe that I'm worried, my dear. But I suppose worrying won't get me anywhere. We have to face the facts. Worrying won't make your legs work again.
I'm sorry.
Did I ask you to apologize? No, I did not. Ah, yes, that reminds me. There was a favor I wanted to ask of you.
Oh, really? What is it? I'd love to help out.
I wanted you to get rid of all of the weeds in my yard before your father's funeral.
Got it. No problem. I'm pretty sure I recall you having an electric mower, right? I'll have it done in a jiffy with that.
Unacceptable! Do you know how weeds work, my dear? Let me tell you about weeds. Much like how you've got your claws buried in my son's heart, weeds take root deep within the soil. I want you to pull every last one of them up, roots and all. The electric mower simply isn't going to cut it. You have to do it by hand. Oh, wait a second. Will that be difficult for you, with being a cripple and all?
No, don't worry, it's fine. I'll have it done before we leave for the funeral, I promise.
I expect great things, Alice. This should be interesting. You might actually be of some use to me for the first time in your life. Alice, you've really gone and done it this time, you silly girl.
Hi, Gertrude. Did I do something wrong?
At the funeral. You told all of your relatives you cleared out all of the weeds in my yard, didn't you?
Well, yeah, kind of. But it's not like I was especially eager to talk about weeds or anything. It's just that everyone was discussing gardening, so I mentioned what I did in your garden this afternoon. After I got clearing out the weeds, you asked me to plant some flowers in the freshly invader-free soil, did you not? One of my relatives was really curious, and she asked me all kinds of things about how to plant and care for the flowers.
That may be so, but why did you have to be so idiotically honest? Some things are better left unsaid.
Huh? What do you mean?
Are you trying to make our families think I'm the kind of person who forces her disabled daughter-in-law to clear out the weeds in her garden? You're so thoughtless and insensitive. Ugh, how could you do this to me, you little ingrate? I'm your mother-in-law, did you forget that? Would it hurt you so much to say some nice things about me once in a blue moon, or to try and uplift me instead of destroying my reputation?
Oh, look, Gertrude, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was doing anything to upset you. It wasn't intentional. I doubt anyone even remembers what I said about the weeds, and besides, even if they did, why would they think you forced me? It was the flowers they were interested in. I honestly don't think you have anything to worry about.
You don't know that for sure. I do wish you'd think before speaking every now and then, dear.
Right, you're right. I'm sorry.
If you mean it when you say you want to win my approval, making me happy should be your #1 priority. In spite of that, all you seem to do is upset me. Do you enjoy making me suffer?
No, of course not. I told you I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
In that case, you better make damn sure that whenever you talk about me in front of others from now on, it's nothing but praise. Praise and more praise. I want everyone to know how fantastic I am. If anyone asks, the only reason you cleared out the weeds and planted those flowers was because you wanted to help me so badly that you volunteered of your own accord. Are we clear?
We're clear.
Good grief. It looks like your leg isn't the only thing that doesn't work. The fact that I have to explain things that should be as plain as day in minute detail makes it abundantly clear that your brain isn't operating at full capacity either. Are all cripples like this?
Gertrude, please. I'd really appreciate it if you would stop calling me that, and I'd like it if you stopped thinking of me as nothing more than my disability. Other than one of my legs not working, I'm no different to you or anyone else.
Oh, now I've heard it all. A bottom-dwelling leech who's only able to exist thanks to my hard-earned tax dollars thinks she's the same as me?
Please stop being so horrible. Do you think I chose to be this way? Do you think I enjoy it?
It makes me sick the way you cripples roll around in your wheelchairs while you suck up the tax dollars of hard-working Americans like me without a care in the world. You assert so boldly how you're no different to me and other normal folk that I believe you might actually be delusional enough to believe it. But the truth is, without sponging off the tax money of decent, respectable people like us, defective articles like you wouldn't have a leg to stand on, would you? Pardon the pun. I know you can't help the way you are, but you could at least try being a little more damn humble.
I'm not gonna deny it. Maybe there are some disabled people who behave arrogantly and act like the world owes them something, but most of us are incredibly grateful for any help we get.
Are you really? I wonder. Consider the following. You, damaged goods in the real sense of the term, managed to bag yourself a high-spec guy like my son. You're privileged enough to be enjoying a happy, fulfilling life of the kind that in a just world would only be possible for normal people. That seems pretty damn arrogant from where I'm standing.
Disabled folk have the right to be happy, too.
Throw away these despicable ideas of yours at once. You may have been married for a year now, but I bet not a day's gone by where my son hasn't regretted choosing you to be his wife. How about you hurry up and accept how miserable you make the people around you and do my son the enormous favor of divorcing him and getting out of his life once and for all?
Wait, are you telling me to leave Sam?
Believe me, dear, that's all I've ever wanted. How could I want anything else? You're nothing but useless, damaged goods, and you serve no purpose in any of our lives. What's the point in keeping you around? You bring nothing to the table. Alice, my leg is itchy. Bring me a back scratcher at once.
I can't come and see you again today, Gertrude. I have some important business to attend to now.
Important business? More important than me? Impossible! You come back to the hospital right now.
Are you being serious right now? I was literally just there. I'm sorry, I can't. I have an appointment to make. I really gotta go.
Don't you feel sorry for me? I can't even walk. I'm disabled just like you now. You'd think you of all people would understand how I feel.
Sure, I understand how difficult not being able to walk can be, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna drop what I'm doing to cater to your every whim and desire at the drop of a hat.
Ah, I see. That's it, isn't it? You were born disabled. You could never understand how it feels to be an able-bodied person who suddenly loses use of their legs in a horrible accident. Not only that, but you'd think it was enough that I'm now unable to walk and forced to live in a wheelchair. But no, I just had a lawyer show up. Do you know what he wanted? He demanded I pay the full amount to cover the repair fees for the damage done to the house.
I hardly see how that's a surprise after what you did. You drove your car into someone's freaking house. I suggest you talk to your insurance company about that. I'm not familiar with this kind of thing, but there's a chance they might be able to cover it. I'm certainly not going to be any use to you on this one.
I have no idea what to do. I don't know anything about legal proceedings, and besides, this is all backwards. The owner should be paying for the damages her house caused to me. Just because I mistook the accelerator for the brake pedal in a moment of confusion doesn't mean I should be punished financially. I've already suffered enough.
Surely you should just be thankful that poor old lady wasn't home when you planted your car in her living room. She could have been killed. And look, I know this isn't easy, but there is still a chance that with lots of hard work, rehabilitation, and some positive thinking, you could walk again one day.
Maybe so, but there's no telling how long that could take. I was supposed to be going on a girls' holiday with my friends next month. There's no way I'll be going now. What did I ever do to deserve this? Life is cruel.
I know this is horrible, Gertrude, but you can't give up. What else can you do but try your best? I know this is gonna sound heartless, but there's no avoiding the fact that you're the one who caused this accident. Besides, you're not the only one involved here. You destroyed some poor lady's house with your careless driving. I think you should show a little remorse.
Like I told you, all I did was make one teeny tiny mistake. Since when did you become the world's highest moral authority? Get off your damn high horse.
You don't seem to have any idea how much worse this could have been if that lady had happened to be home when you plowed through her house.
You shut your goddamn mouth. I can't live like this. I've had enough already. I want to go home. Hospital food is so disgusting it makes me want to vomit, and they even decide when I go to bed. I can't take it anymore. This is not where I'm supposed to be.
You're getting discharged next month, right?
That's right. But that's too long. I don't know if I can hold out until then. It's not like being all cooped up in here is going to make me any more likely to walk again. I'm just suffering needlessly.
Gertrude, please. They're doing important tests on you every day, and they're giving you rehab sessions for crying out loud. It might not be nice, but it's a necessary step in your recovery, and also for getting out of there. Please do your best. We believe in you.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to talk to you about what happens after I get discharged from this godforsaken hellhole. I've decided I'm going to live with you and Sam.
Huh?
Don't act so surprised. I live in a wheelchair now, you know. How am I supposed to get by without anyone to look after me?
There are tons of people in wheelchairs who live alone. Sure, things will undoubtedly be difficult at first, and we'll be around to help you while you get used to everything.
Wait a second. You're not trying to tell me I can't live with you, are you? I know you wouldn't do that.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm sorry, but you can't live with us. It's impossible.
Why not? I'm Sam's mother. We're family.
I know that. But Sam has no intention of letting you move in with us either.
You're lying. There's no way my lovely, kind, caring Sam would let his own mother down in her hour of need. He's not like you.
Oh, Gertrude, I'm really sorry to have to bring this up at a time like this. But you've been horrible to me ever since we met.
Me? Horrible to you? What in heaven's name are you talking about, young lady? I have no recollection of doing any such thing.
You make fun of me for being disabled? You do nothing but insult, demean, and belittle me at every opportunity. You probably treat your garbage better than you do me.
All I've ever done is tell the truth.
Whether you think something is true or not gives you no right to abuse me. I did my best to build some kind of positive relationship with you because you're Sam's mom and I wanted us all to get along. I wanted to win your approval so badly that I held my tongue and tolerated everything you said to me in the hopes that one day you'd finally give me a chance. But Sam told me I shouldn't keep putting up with it. And you know what? He's right.
Fascinating. Just fascinating. What a riveting story. Not. What's your goddamn point, noodle leg? None of this has anything to do with me. I will be moving in with you. I won't be able to get by otherwise.
Please start looking into disability-friendly accommodation, or if you're so tired of living alone, care homes. Because you are absolutely not moving in with us, and that's final. You don't have to take my word for it. Sam says he's going to message you soon, so be my guest and wait to hear it from him if you like. The sooner you understand and accept this, the better.
No way! Sam would do anything to help me, no matter what. I'm his mother and he loves me. I won't lose to an arrogant, wet behind the ears little ingrate like you.
Gertrude, this isn't about winning or losing.
I'm moving in with you. We're not negotiating here. This has already been decided. Your opinion is irrelevant and I never asked for it. I can't believe that you of all people would treat me so cruelly and heartlessly despite having been disabled your whole life. You should understand what I'm going through more than anyone. What's wrong? Are you scared you won't get my son's full, undivided attention anymore? That's it, isn't it? You're jealous.
Give me a break, not even a little.
Then how about you keep your mouth shut and start listening to my son? I know he wants me to live with you, and I won't hear another word on the matter from the likes of you. Stop interfering where you're neither needed nor welcome, you little witch. You've got some explaining to do, Alice. You haven't been to see me in the hospital for an entire week. What in heaven's name is going on?
Just like I told you before, I won't be helping you with anything anymore.
Oh, I get it. You're trying to avoid the issue of me living with you and my son, aren't you? I can read you like a book.
Wow, are you seriously still talking about that? You just don't know when to give up. You were obviously never gonna listen to me. But Sam's explained over a dozen times by now that there's no way you can live with us. What's it gonna take for you to understand?
Irrelevant. I'm his mother, and my word is law.
I see. But you living with us is literally impossible.
Where there's a will, there's a way. You can say whatever you like, but it changes nothing. I will absolutely, 100%, indubitably, definitely, surely, certainly, unequivocally be moving in with you. I've already hired a moving company to have my things dropped off at your house. The wheels are in motion and there are no brakes on this train. As things stand, the plan is to arrive there sometime during the beginning of next month. You should be grateful. This is an opportunity to be of some use to someone. Maybe if you're lucky, the day will finally come where I no longer think of you as useless, damaged goods. Didn't you always used to go on about how desperate you were to win my approval? Well, this is your chance to prove you've got what it takes.
You're already making preparations to move in with us? Wait a sec. You mean you're moving abroad with us?
Huh? Abroad?
Yep. Me and Sam moved to the UK last week. That's why we can't visit you in the hospital anymore.
Wait a sec. What? The UK? This is the first I've heard of it.
Right? That's because we didn't tell you.
Why did you move to the UK? This makes no sense. Hold on a second. Is this something to do with Sam's work?
Bingo! So we're gonna be away from the States for a little while. Damn, I can't imagine how awkward it's gonna be when the moving company guys arrive with all your stuff at the house that we no longer live in. How many times did I tell you moving in with us was impossible? I wasn't exaggerating or making excuses. I mean, it's literally, physically impossible.
Maybe so, but you didn't tell me why, did you? This could have all been avoided if you just let me know. Ugh! Come home this instant!
We didn't tell you because we didn't want you bugging us or getting in our way while we were getting ready to move abroad. Besides, we thought it best to keep it quiet on the off chance that you were actually crazy enough to invite yourself.
Where does this leave me? What am I supposed to do now? Where am I supposed to go when I get discharged from the hospital?
Not my problem. Figure it out yourself. Oh, that reminds me. We did leave a bunch of leaflets containing information on local care facilities and specialized apartments for disabled folks on your living room table. There are some with info on live-in carers, too. Take a look at those and plan your life yourself.
Are you abandoning me? How could you do this? I'm in a goddamn wheelchair! This is an unacceptable way to treat your mother-in-law!
I don't want to understate how horrible and unfortunate your accident was, and I feel for you, Gertrude, I really do. But me or Sam have no intention of looking after someone as incredibly selfish and egotistic as you. You're the one who caused the accident. In spite of that, you still haven't apologized to the poor old lady whose house you destroyed, have you?
She has more than enough of my money to care about epoxy apology. I've already lost my life savings because of the compensation I was forced to pay for her repairs. Her house can be fixed. My legs, on the other hand, cannot. Do you really think I have the time to be thinking of others in the situation I'm in?
It's not that I don't understand how you feel. But I want you to think for a moment. I want you to remember something you said to me a little while ago. What was it again? You could at least try being a little more damn humble. So how about it, Gertrude? Have you not got what it takes to show some humility? That's super important for cripples like you and me, after all, right?
This isn't fair. I was a normal person when I said that. I mean, no, wait. I'm still a normal person. I'm not a cripple. I'm not. They said there's a chance I might walk again if I work hard at rehab.
Great. That means you can stop trying to rely on others and live by yourself then. You are normal after all, aren't you? Shouldn't be an issue, right?
I am, but things are different now. Or at least for the time being. Have you no heart? Don't you feel in the slightest bit sorry for me? Your poor aged mother-in-law has to live in a wheelchair for heaven's sake. You have no idea how crushingly lonely it can be to live on your own at the best of times, let alone in this state. Have some sympathy.
If you got enough fight left in you to be pestering me like this, I'm sure you'll be just fine. You know what astonishes me the most? That you actually think I'd help you after the way you abused and made fun of me for being disabled all this time. Surely you're joking. You have to be. No human being is this ridiculous.
But I thought you wanted my approval.
I thought I made this clear already, but any desire for your approval I may have had back then has completely disappeared. I'm blessed enough to have a kind, caring, loving husband who accepts me unconditionally for who I am, and that's all that matters. What more could I possibly want?
Alice, listen to me. I'll accept you as my daughter-in-law and my son's wife if you let me move in with you. This is what you've been waiting for all this time, isn't it? I may have been a little inconsiderate towards you at times in the past, but I get it now. After losing use of my legs in the accident, I finally understand how you feel. I'll never do anything like that again. Won't you at least think about it? Pretty please?
I will not.
We could find a place with wheelchair accessibility in the UK, you know. I know the rest of the world isn't as advanced as America, but they should at least have ramps. You wouldn't happen to know anything about why I haven't been able to get through to Sam for the last few days, would you? Would you be a darling and pass on a message for me? I need you to ask him to consider flying me over to the UK to live with you both.
I won't be doing that.
But Alice, I'm begging you. I'm in a wheelchair and I'm begging you. What's the harm in passing on a message? Why won't you just hear me out here?
You haven't heard me out even once ever since we met. Why should I suddenly be interested in anything you have to say?
Alice, I'm so sorry. I've been a fool. I'm so sorry for the way I've treated you. My behavior was unacceptable. I feel horrible, dear. But I really am begging you here. I'm begging you with every last fiber of my being. Please. Please don't abandon your mother-in-law like this.
Sam already made this clear, but apparently it didn't go in, so I'll tell you again. You're not the only human being on this planet, and you need to start living with some consideration for others for a change. The world owes you no favors, and you can't always get your own way. That's life, and the sooner you accept it, the better.
I'm not saying I want my own way all the time. Besides, I obviously don't get it, do I? If I did, I wouldn't be alone and miserable in this wheelchair. This isn't my fault.
There's no reason for me to speak to you as long as you're living in denial of what you've done. Have a nice life.
Alice, wait. I'm begging you. Please just pass the message on to Sam. That's all I ask. You can hate me. You can curse me. You can think what you want of me, but please, please pass on the message. I'm sorry. I'm remorseful for the way I treated you. I'm sorry I ignored the way you felt for so long, and I'm sorry I ignored everything you and Sam said to me.
There's nothing I can do for you.
Surely that's not true. Sam thinks the world of you. Surely one word from you is all it would take for him to reconsider how he feels about me. If you forgive me, he will too. I just know it.
But I'm a defective article. Good for nothing, remember? Even if I wanted to, I could never be of use to anyone. Your words, not mine. All I'm doing right now is what your son asked me to. Which is why there's nothing I can do for you. You're on your own. Have a nice life. Bye! After that, I was barraged with a torrent of panicked messages from my desperate mother-in-law. Naturally, I blocked her, and now, with her gone, my life is stress-free. I said all I had to say at the end there, so I have no regrets. A major toxic influence has been removed from our lives, and we're not looking back. That said, she decided to move into an apartment complex equipped with specialized facilities for disabled people, for which she needed the signature of a close relative to act as her guarantor. We enlisted the help of Sam's uncle to act as a go-between to avoid the unpleasantries of corresponding directly with her. And so the procedures to dispose of her once and for all are currently underway. I can't help but feel a little guilty for dragging Sam's uncle into Gertrude's mess, but it couldn't be helped. To my surprise, he readily accepted. He said he'd long had his suspicions she might be mistreating me because he knew exactly what she was like from his own experiences with her growing up. Eventually, her application for the wheelchair-friendly apartment was approved. She's currently living there alone. Everyone who knows her thinks she got exactly what she deserved after finding out the way she'd been treating me, which sadly for her means that she never gets a single visitor. After being paralyzed from the waist down, my mother-in-law, who used to be super active, having formerly been an avid mountain climber, is now confined to a tiny apartment and leads a wretched existence of soul-crushing loneliness. I heard from a friend of a friend who happened to see her out shopping that she looked like she'd lost all her spirit and vigor, a depressed, broken husk of a human being. What life brings next is entirely down to her. In any case, it's not our problem. She's not in our lives anymore, and she never will be again. She's nothing more than a distant memory now. Me and my husband are looking towards our own future together and intend on building the best life possible for ourselves in the UK. I have nothing but gratitude towards my amazing husband and our wonderful relatives, who have all been super supportive over the whole Gertrude incident. As for me, I'm going to carry on working as hard as I possibly can to ensure that mine and Sam's happy lives together continues long into the future.